Bizarre Brain Comics. Ooh. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. I thought I got rid of that frog. Okay. This time, well, yesterday afternoon, I found it, come up with a little bit of extra free time, and I made a trip over to the Brass Armadillo Antique Mall and see what I could come up with. I wanted to limit myself to $15 to $20 for some comics, and of course, as usual, it was nearly double that, and I still limited myself down to to 13 books, 13 comics, a baker's dozen. So they had an unusually good selection this time, and there's so many things that I wanted to get, but couldn't put, and many that I put back. So all of these are from $1 to $4. There's one that was $4, so it's basic ranges from $1 to $3 for these. And I got some pretty good selections here. Let's start off with looking at this one. Oh, this is from Atlas Comics from around 75, Wolf number 4. Because Sword and Sorcery, Wolf the Barbarian, number 4. I've done a few episodes of Atlas Comics, covering Atlas Comics, and I've actually done one of Wolf before, but I've never had this this issue. So that's cool. That's cool. Sword and Sorcery, that's fun. And then, as a friend of mine, The Occult Files of Dr. Spectre, and I don't see the, of course, doesn't have the number on it. It was like 23 or something, if I remember correctly, something like that. Dr. Spectre, from Gold Key Comics, by Don Glut and Jesse Santos doing the artwork. And I've got a couple of hardback reprint volumes and many issues of Dr. Spectre. And I really like that. And I've done episodes on Dr. Spectre, and I will again, undoubtedly. But this is one I'm completely unfamiliar with this cover. I've never seen it at all that I recall. And so it's like a totally new story. And of course, it just flipping through it, and it refers back to some of the other stories that I am familiar with. So it's like a sequel to that. But it looks cool. Doomed in a deadly netherworld where mortals fear to tread. Yeah, that's always cool. Get some stuff that you've never seen before. And listen, here, another gold key. This goes back to, I think it was 62 or 63. Turok, Son of Stone. And again, I have many issues of Turok, and I probably wouldn't ordinarily have got it, but this is a completely unknown cover, one that I've never seen before, and an unusual storyline. And it doesn't fit with regular, where we usually think of Turok, at least as far as the cover is concerned. And of course, Alberto Giolitti, interior art. And here we go again. From Dell Comics, 15 Center, Ghost Stories. And this is from the, early 70s, I think it was. But anything from Dell would through the 60s and 70s would have been unknown to me as a kid, because for some reason, uh, unbeknownst to me, where I lived, we did not get, in our little BFE town, we did not get any Dell comics. We've got a lot of Gold Key, but then being one of a horror comic as well, ghost stories. That's cool. Something I'm unfamiliar with. Then we jump up to must be the late 80s, from Comico, Johnny Quest. I love Johnny Quest, the TV show created, and it was created by characters created by Doug Wildey, and the animated show from the 60s, and then the revival from the 80s, and I guess they had a more recent revival too that I don't know anything about. And then for a couple of years or so, this is number 10, a couple of years in the late 80s or so, might have been early 90s, I don't remember. Comico was publishing Johnny Quest, and I only got a few issues. And this one, I don't know, so we'll probably be going into this one sometime, because, I love my Johnny Quest. Then we go from Marvel Comics, Chili. Not too long ago, I did one of a few episodes I've done on Millie the model, and she had her redhead frenemy, Chili, and Chili had her own title. So that's cool. I think I have one other one. I think I saw one other one out in one of the boxes in the garage the other day. This is in 15 centers. This must be early 70s. Well, it has to be, because they stopped Millie the model in the early 70s. So, and of course, teen humor, Archie style. Then we got something I haven't read any of before, is from Dynamite. This is number 2 of Panther. This is more recent. See if it gives the date. Nah, it doesn't matter. Panther. Of course, Panther is a spinoff from Vampirella. And I remember Panther. I used to have Panther backup stories in the Vampirella Black and White magazine way back when. And they brought her back as an individual character, and sometimes she would cross over with Vampirella, but I don't like the color of the painted cover here. And something a bit more conventional, but something I don't have, and I have very little of. This is the Atom Special. I remember seeing this on the stand, and I don't think I had got it at the time. I flipped through it, and the interior looks unfamiliar. And this is a special. It's a square bound, so it's probably about a 48 pager. The Atom. We'll see how that. This is one of the runs of the Atom independent individual title. So we'll see. Some nice artwork on it though. Then we go. Did some Hawkman not too long ago. Well, here's another issue. Hawkman number 7. This is this is from 02. So this is one of the more recent versions. But there were a few other Hawkman issues there, but this is a Western, and I had to check that out. So I was looking through it, and I didn't see any wings, so I don't know what the deal is. But it's a Western. I love my Westerns, so there we go. And speaking of Westerns, here is Western Comics from DC Comics. This is from 1954. This was the most expensive one I bought. It's in very, very rough shape, falling apart. But I don't have any from there, and it features Powwow Smith, and has he's just the lead character. The Storming of Fort Courage. And you might say, who the heck is Powwow Smith? Well, we've done a whole lot about him. I used to get some comics that had reprint stories of him. Powwow Smith. But it's the DC Western. That's good enough for me. And then, just a few days ago, actually, well, the day before yesterday is when I shot it, my video on British British kids comics. Oh, kind of wish I'd waited until after I got these. Oh, three issues of some more British comics, and they had more there. They even had at that stand. They even had some. I would love to have gotten some British comics that reprint. Marvel UK reprinting American Marvel character stories. And I would like to have gotten those too. And those are from the early 70s. And these were from, early 80s, 83 there. So I got 2 of the Eagle and 1 of this one here, Wizard. And this got some sword and sorcerer. Of course, these are in the paper tabloid format, like I showed, just like those Dandy and Beano, except they're more adventurous. So. And this features Dan Dare. He was real popular, and I like Dan Dare. I've read some reprint stuff. But here's one of the interesting things that took me by surprise is it's also got stories that are fumetti, photographs in comic book form. It's got 3 stories in here like that. Oh, so cool. And I did a whole episode on fumetti books. So you can check that out. But it still has regular comics. And of course, these are all 2 or 4 page stories. And surprisingly, here's Dan Dare. And surprisingly, it has, not all of them, but some of them, the stories, actually have creator credits. And that other one didn't. But some great artwork there on the Dan Dare stuff. But you don't get very far, but it's only weekly. It takes them quite a while. And that is really, really neat. Oh, it's the other one. Okay, so I'll probably do some more in-depth stuff with these, or at least have a follow-up sometime in the future of British kids comics. Okay, so that is all I've got for you this time. Just to show you that baker's dozen of books. Oh, some really cool stuff there. And I got the whole thing for just under $35. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, comics are art.